Hello, my name is Margaritta Fultz, and I would like for us to take a 5-minute tour of a significant issue that has plagued higher ed for some time now. Let's tour higher ed budget challenges in relationship to the state of Illinois' appropriated funding. As my outline provides, we will go through an overview, examine what is important, see who is affected, and look at addressing this issue with a plausible solution to solve the higher education funding issues. The condition and fiscal health of the U.S. economy has been a primary concern since the Great Depression. Until the most recent recession, mainstream America, public and private sector organizations, and U.S. territories experienced waves of localized economic downturns, economic stresses, and financial crises. The Great Recession, with its official onset having taken place in 2007 as a result of the subprime housing market crisis, evidenced the most widespread economic crisis since the Great Depression. This resulted in the untimely dissolving of banks, forced mergers in order for organizations to survive, and drastic and desperate changes in organizational strategic plans in order to address the dire impact of such a significant economic downturn in which few organizations were immune. The residual effects and outcomes of the Great Recession are still wreaking havoc on governmental agencies, and Illinois higher ed continues to grapple for solutions to these post-recession funding challenges. What is important to note? In taking a look at the national perspectives on the funding of higher education in the United States, there has not been a rebound in pre-recession levels. This greatly affects the quality of educational services and programs in which universities have the ability to offer their priority consumer, the student. One of the biggest impacts universities face is the reduction in the number of academic programs they are able to offer, and the highly sought-after marketable STEM programs for which the educational consumer is looking to secure lucrative career opportunities within the United States and abroad. The issue that plagues the funding of higher education is all over the United States, and it's being experienced and frustrating university budget directors all over the state of Illinois as well. The big question is, how do state governments get back to funding higher education at levels in which appropriated funding is allocated prior to the Great Recession? Agendas all over the state of Illinois revolve around survival in the post-recession. Cuts continue to sabotage university budgets and sacrifice the quality and quantity of educational programs and services that students demand, as these students increase their student loan debt in order to pay for the ever-increasing costs of the public university's room and board and tuition and fees. Per student funding in 3 states has decreased by as much as 40%. In the state of Illinois, per student funding is down 13.5%, while only 2 states have increased their percent change per student, Alaska and North Dakota, at 3.5 and 38.6% respectively. These states have increased per student funding on average. However, the increases are nominal and anywhere from nearly $22 per student during an academic year to $449. There are 12 public universities in the state of Illinois. All of them are vulnerable to collapse underneath the current appropriated funding levels and proposed cuts. If a blended plan to address these vulnerabilities is not strategically put in place, the future of Illinois public institutions remains at risk. This is what could happen. If the public institutions in Illinois are not able to arrive at reasonable cuts and alternative sources of revenue other than individual household incomes, education will be too expensive for Illinois college students. Currently, budget directors and institutional research and planning departments are working with university presidents to plead with the state of Illinois to not implement cuts that will destroy the viability of academic programs and make attending college too expensive for Illinois families. Grant funding is an option that has not been exhausted as a funding source for public universities. There should be more aggressive efforts to form grant writing teams, crank out grant proposals, and flood the federal government, state government, and private foundations to solicit grant funding sources. Numerous academic programs could be funded with technology grants and help to build capacity for STEM programs at all 12 public universities in the state of Illinois. Funding that yields from the grant writing team's work should pay their salaries as well as fund university programs. A shift to the priority use of grant funding and cutting academic programs that do not yield careers for our graduates can reduce Illinois public institutions' dependence on state-appropriated funding and resolve this major issue that otherwise will not go away. Thank you so much.